Yo, 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 what it do, what it be? It's your boy ANT, repping the game gang. You know we don't play none of that, all of that. Coming back to you with another Modern Warfare 2 gameplay. Yeah, I thought I gave up on this game too, but I got peer pressured back into it. My homies was on it, constantly blowing up the group chat playing it, so I had to jump back on it, you feel me? But that's not what today's video is about. We coming back with another greatest debate countdown. And today like I said, we're going to be talking about the greatest quarterbacks of the 1970s. And we don't have any honorable mentions on today's list. So let's get right into the top 5. And at 5, I might get some hate for this, but I got Bob Griese at 5. That's right. Mr. Undefeated is number 5, but for good reason. He did win 2 Super Bowls and has the only undefeated season in NFL history. But I'm putting that mostly on Coach Shula, mainly because Bob was hurt for most of that undefeated season and Earl Morrall won most of those games. Bob came back in the second half of the championship game and then played the whole Super Bowl. Plus, he never won an MVP. So he did something and was a part of something that'll never happen again. But I give most of that credit to Shula and then Morrall, and then Griese was kind of the cleanup guy, I guess. The Dolphins defense was pretty good that season too. But the next guy, number 4, never won a Super Bowl, but he did win an MVP in 75, and his stats are literally better than anybody on this list by far. Number 4 is Fran Tarkenton, who, like I said, has more yards and touchdowns than anybody on this list, partly because he played 17 seasons. But I will say that if he would have won a chip, he would have been 3rd or possibly better because his stats are really that great. He had 342 passing touchdowns and 47,000 yards. Like, by the time he retired, and by comparison, Bob Griese only had 25,000 passing yards and 192 touchdowns. Plus, Fran is still top 10 in quarterback rushing yards. I mean, he was the first small, scrambling quarterback that kind of paved the way for guys like Mike Vick, Russ, Kyler Murray, guys like that. So he was kind of a prototype for those guys. So I give him the credit. He's at number 4. He was really ahead of his time, and was a stud passing the football. But he never won the big one, and that kept him from being higher on this list, especially because the next guy on this list beat him in one of the Super Bowls he went to, which leads me to number 3, Ken the Snake Stabler, who, he has the only negative touchdown interception ratio on the list, but like I mentioned before, he beat Fran Tarkenton in the Super Bowl. And yes, I put Bob Griese lower partly because he had Shula. Yes, Ken did have the John Madden as his coach, but he got 2,000 more yards than Bob and won an MVP in 74. So he edged him out in the success category and whooped Fran when it mattered most. So Stabler took the 3rd spot. And again, you look at Fran's stats, I don't know why. He could never make it over that hump in the biggest games. He never played as well as he did in the regular season. But at number 2 is Roger the Dodger Staubach, who won Coach Landry both of his Super Bowls and gave the Cowboys credibility as a franchise. However, he never won a regular season MVP and only won one of the Super Bowl's MVPs, as Randy White and Harvey Martin were co-MVPs in Super Bowl 12. He also spent the first 4 years of his career in the military, so his stats don't really measure up to anybody on this list numbers-wise, besides maybe his completion percentage and passer rating, because he was accurate and efficient. He literally invented the Hail Mary pass, and his ability to avoid pressure and scramble as a taller passer, he was way before his time and helped influence guys like Steve McNair, Brett Favre, Joe Montana, and Steve Young. And even today you see guys who can, kind of shift their feet in and out of the pocket, kind of like Aaron Rodgers. Nobody else kind of comes off the top of my head. Maybe Matt Ryan a little bit. He kind of shifty when he wanted to be in his youth. But anyways, had he spent those 4 years in the league, who knows how many more Super Bowls Roger Staubach would have won. But unfortunately, that's a what if. And what did happen was the next guy on this list is, He also turned a franchise into a dynasty. And number one on this list is none other than Terry Bradshaw. I mean, sure, he had the steel curtain defense, but bro did win 4 Super Bowls with Chuck Noll. Won half of those Super Bowl MVPs, got 2 of them. And he won an NFL MVP in 78. I mean, Terry definitely had the success, of course, and no one on this list has better stats than Fran Tarkenton. I mean, including Terry, but Terry still put up 27,989 pass yards, almost 28,000 yards, and he had 212 touchdowns. And I mean, he had 210 picks and only completed 51% of his passes, but his awards and wins more than make up for that. I mean, he may not have been as efficient as Roger or have the crazy stats like Fran, but Terry won the most when it mattered, you know? And he had more touchdowns than Roger, more success than anyone on this list. So, I mean, Terry was the best quarterback to play in the 70s, in my opinion. Maybe not stats-wise. Maybe if Fran would have had Shula or somebody like that, who knows? But like I said, that's a whole big what if. But that's my list of greatest quarterbacks of the 70s. If I miss someone or your order is different, let me know in the comments. I'm interested to hear y'all's arguments or debates. It's what it is, you know, the greatest debates of all time. And next video, I got the top 5 quarterbacks of the 80s. That one's going to be a little bit longer. I got definitely some honorable mentions because the 80s, that's when really the passing game hit that curve. I mean, the 70s did have prolific passers like the ones I just mentioned, but the 80s, that's when you saw, you know, more scrambling quarterbacks like a Randall Cunningham, and you saw guys like, you know, a Joe Montana just start slinging the rock. And of course, you know, you had receivers like Jerry Rice, and even then, I didn't even talk about how Lynn Swann. Terry Bradshaw had one of the greatest receivers. I love Lynn Swann. Dope, bro is dope. But this is a little shorter video than I usually do. But again, that's only because it was just the top 5. Kind of easy to put down once I get all of the stats and get my criterias down and stuff like that. So it wasn't really no biggie. But I got the 80s coming up next, and I got another hip-hop history video coming soon. So stay tuned. Ring the notification bell. Subscribe. All that. It's been your boy, ANT, repping the game gang. You know we don't play none of that. All of that. Y'all be safe out here. Y'all don't get smoked. I got like a minute left in this video. I was going crazy on this hardcore, and I was just going solo. You know, I'm back on it, trying to do these bullshit weapon challenges and all that. I'm kind of having fun with it. Back to, you know, I just needed a little break, you know. But anyways, y'all, I'm out. Peace.